Hi, my name is Corrine Maury. I'm one of the nurses in BC that was significantly impacted by the COVID vaccine mandates that occurred in our province a few years ago. In the last 3.5 years, I've been working with a team of nurses who have been trying to raise concerns over compromise that happened within the healthcare system, within our union representation, and now that we have discovered that it has also sort of infiltrated our judicial legal system. In regards to union members, we don't have any rights. We have given over all of our representation to the union, and the only recourse we have for workplace issues is to go to the BC Labour Board and file a complaint in terms of bringing evidence that our union has actually not effectively represented us. We follow due process. We have utilized every single tool available to us in terms of the evidence we collected, what we know, what we experienced. We submitted this information to the Labour Board, and we have just received notice that our application is dismissed. They are not going to review our complaint. What we have discovered, and this is all personal opinion, is basically we have unions operating like cartels in the province. In the case of the BC Nurses Union, it is totally funded with public taxpayer money. It is either getting huge payouts directly from the government or it is taking a percentage of nurses' wages, which is still public money. And then it is being used as a conduit to sort of disperse this money. And I have had personal experience where there has been this channel of flow of funds that moves out to arbitrators and lawyers and legal assistants, and they all play a game that doesn't actually produce any representation for us, but they can all bill $600 an hour and produce nothing. So the reason why our complaint was dismissed was the Labour Board said it is only their job to determine if there is representation, not if the representation is competent. And as the union has initiated things and taken 3 years to actually never complete them, that's irrelevant. It is only that they have initiated, that's all they have to rule on. Now, that would be similar to you having to undergo surgery, and there's no requirement that your surgeon is actually competent. Or that if you're building a house and you have a contractor who knows the building code, gets a permit, there's no requirements that he actually has to build your house adhering to the building code. That is what the Labour Board is saying. We just have to see that, the union's filed some paperwork, but we don't actually have to prove that they're doing anything to effectively represent you. So in our case now, we have an issue where we are seeing that there is significant amount of political donations from unions to the BC NDP government, BCGEU being one, and just recently we had in the Kootenay region all sorts of ferries that were going on strike that were blocking access to communities. They had no other way to get into their home community except through these ferries. And the government wasn't intervening, even though these are considered part of the extension of highways. But when you look on Elections BC site under political contributions, you will see that these unions are giving massive amounts of money back to the NDP government, who then refuses to actually get involved and protect the rights of citizens. So we have, in my opinion, what is looking like a cartel. And I am letting both nurses and the public know that we have done everything possible that we can in terms of whatever tool we had to raise awareness, to bring accountability to our union, to try to ensure protection for residents of BC, because even in the workplace, terminated nurses were not allowed to work, and yet non-unionized nurses were allowed to work at higher wages, and the union said nothing because it was getting handouts from public taxpayer money. The point of this is to say, and it took me a couple of days before I could even make this video so that I didn't break down. There is nothing more that we can do. We have done everything possible to fight this. I even ran as a political candidate in the last provincial election because I realized that the only thing that will change is if the laws around unions can be changed, where membership is voluntary rather than mandatory, that they no longer be able to operate under a nonprofit status because they don't have to pay taxes. Nobody can see what's going on with their financial transactions. There's no transparency. I was unable to access any position of authority. There's nothing else that I can find to fight this. And the more that I get into it, the more that I realize that our judicial system is totally compromised. We have an agreement with arbitrator Jackie DeGuayo signing off that as soon as the public health order was rescinded, the health authorities and our union agreed that nurses should be rehired. There are many nurses that are not being rehired. Nobody's following the rules. I contacted Ms. DeGuayo and said, you have a role that gives you authority. Your signature, your name, all provide authority for everyone that is compelled to follow your instructions, and they're not. So what does that do when your authority is totally destabilized? And all I'm told is I'm not allowed to communicate with them. I guess what I'm saying right now is I don't know what else to do. I don't have anything left to work with. Every avenue that we should have available to us does not work. And unfortunately, this is not just something that will affect nurses. This disease and this cancer that's in our society, it will affect everyone, every single union member, every worker in this province, every person that is supposed to receive services from this province. It is all being run by a level that is benefiting from this abuse, and I cannot find a way to correct this. So I'm just letting you know that I have done my best, and I can't see anything else that I can do. So I will be signing off for the moment. I don't know how we're going to correct this. I don't know if we can correct this. But just know that there are still those in our society, in our province, that are doing everything they can to push this back. But it is much bigger than what we thought. So I'm just going to leave it at that and know that I wish I could leave this optimistic and hopeful, but this is so much worse than what I had anticipated that I'm not sure how to leave you. So we got through today. That's how I'm going to leave it. All right. I hope the best for us, but we are going to have to figure out how to protect ourselves.